Welcome to the observation deck. Observation log 3. Start. Now, I want to focus and look into a few cartoons from the 2000s and how oddly mature and really weird and even unhinged some of them were. At a young age, in the mid to late 2000s, a lot of us really watched content that after many years of growth and maturing seems to be quite questionable at a second glance. However, it wasn't all bad. Shows like Courage the Cowardly Dog, Danny Phantom, Codename Kids Next Door, The Misadventures of Flapjack, which exist, Total Drama Island or Batman the Brave and the Bold, Samurai Jack, and many others of the time, which some I will mention and some I won't, were genuinely unique and mature. Alright, for example,
Courage the Cowardly Dog Show, starring Courage the Cowardly Dog, abandoned as a pup.
like most of the other cartoons that will be mentioned in this video at some point, Courage the Cowardly Dog, a horror surreal comedy which aired on Cartoon Network, like most on this video. Courage the Cowardly Dog show aired from late 1999 to 2002 and onwards. Reruns and all that for all youth at the time to see and experience. Courage is a dog who has to face many different strange horrors and obscure situations that no one really wants to deal with and be anywhere near, and that includes Courage the Purple Dog. But Purple Dog has no other choice but to overcome his cowardice in all these weird and scary situations in order to protect his home in the middle of nowhere, as well as his owner Muriel and her husband Eustace. I dislike them both. Watching this show was always weird and still is, and a almost nightmare-inducing experience as a kid at the time. It's a wonder as to how or why Cartoon Network aired this show, and well, either way, we watched it. I know I did. Indeed, the 2000s were a maturing time. Now, this show about a purple dog named Courage, who is also a cowardly dog, really teaches us that as much as of a coward and maybe a little stupid as you may be, you have it in you to not only be resourceful, but to also overcome your fears and face whatever odd situations you find yourself in and win. Moving on. Now, the codename Kids Next Door, this cartoon about the organization, the Kids Next Door, which focuses on operatives number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and their missions to stop sinister teenagers and adults from ruining the lives of children everywhere. By using their weapons and machinery called 2x4s, the Kids Next Door is genuinely hilarious but definitely educational, at least for me it was at the time, it still is. This show really wants you to learn about interpersonal relations, good teamwork, and this aspect reminds me of Total Drama Island, actually, another good one from the time. And leading a team of individuals from completely different backgrounds and groups. By the way, like and subscribe. I also like the fact their headquarters is a giant treehouse with the name of their super secret organization written on it in big bold letters. Like Courage the Cowardly Dog, The Misadventures of Flapjack is a 2008 cartoon about a kid named Flapjack and his associates Bubby the Whale and ex-sailor / pirate Captain Knuckles. And Flapjack wants to be an adventurer, and with the help of Captain Knuckles and Bubby, he has to find Candy Island, which is some mysterious island supposedly made of candy. The world of The Misadventures of Flapjack is full of unhinged weirdos and misfits, and that definitely includes Captain Knuckles if you've seen the show. Now, as far as maturity is concerned, I think being able to watch the uncanny nature of the show and not feeling repulsed is an exercise of maturity on one's young mind in and of itself. But the show does show you to be willing to give people second chances where applicable, right? Now, while the 2000s were much edgier times in the world of animated television, it's important to understand that cartoons are also influential tools of communication. And these cartoons of a much edgier time were created to deposit into our soul certain values that could be carried into our adolescence going forward at the time. Values such as courage, forgiveness, integrity, or perseverance. So as entertaining as they were, and definitely still are, they were made to make an impression on our youthful mind. And I like the fact that a lot of cartoons of this time, even though they were for kids, yes, they also catered towards adolescence and helping mature kids into adolescence with admirable values and quality. These cartoons definitely weren't afraid of mature themes. I think that's why a majority of them were so impactful even after all this time. Now, for example, Phineas and Ferb. Dr. Doofenshmirtz and his troubling youth. Remember, his mom didn't attend his birth or something like that, as well as most of his birthdays. His dad made him stand as a gnome every night, and at some point they made him wear dresses to school because his mother expected a baby girl but got him instead. Or the time his dad got a puppy and named it Only Son. Or the fact at some point in his childhood he smelled like pork every day, to the point his only companion was a balloon he won at a carnival and drew a face on. And even that balloon disappeared at some point while he was fulfilling his duty as a gnome. Now, how was an 8-year-old or 10-year-old supposed to understand the weight and pain in showing us this man's childhood? Now, I'd definitely say for myself, it was definitely difficult for me as a 9-year-old to comprehend just the weight behind this man's backstory. But there is a lesson worth learning from this, and it's rather simple, though it's not easy to do. You can be more than your past. I think that's something interesting worth grabbing from Doofenshmirtz's life, right? Observation log 3 complete.